Good morning, this is Connor from 0DTE Traders here to present our market minute for August 26, 2024. It is 11:10 and the SPX is trading lower, down 0.3% to 56.16. The S&P is being weighed down by growth mega caps as that rotation trade reestablishes itself. So very similar to what we saw in July, which was I would say the primary factor for that market weakness was the rotation out of growth momentum names into value names, those assets that benefit the most from lower interest rates. Now, this is something we want to pay attention to because the S&P is a market cap weighted index. So if growth mega caps are underperforming, they're getting sold, it is going to exert downward pressure on the S&P or at minimum limit the upside. So we're clearly seeing that rotation today. You can see defensives catching a bid, traditional cyclicals green, but it's the growth and mega caps which are red. This is also reflected in market internals. ADD was plus 15 at the plus 1500 near the open. We're starting to see that drift lower, but you can see that is in bullish territory, but growth underperformance. So it's important not to just look at ADD, but to look at it in tandem with relative sector performance to give you the full picture. In terms of levels, there's a lot of resistance on the upside. 5650, a quite sizable gamma level. 5660, which is the SPY 565 call wall. And then you have gap fill and all-time high up at around 5670. And we clearly saw a lot of sell flows come in, last week particularly when the market got up to about 5630, 5640. Playing that essentially that reversion to 5600, and that was my primary trade last week, shorting calls more or less near the open. I took the same trade today, which played out quite well. Already out of those, they're worthless. I haven't quite bought the dip yet, but that has equally worked out quite well, with the exception of Thursday last week. So there's quite a bit of support on the downside. Flip 5605, that is the transition from a stabilizing regime to a destabilizing regime. We got 5600, which is the balanced strike, and then the put wall at 5595. Additionally, 5610 in here as well is SPY 560. So a lot of support on the downside. Now, if we do break that flip, that put wall, that would most certainly be a bearish indication. With the next level to really pay attention to is 5575, 5570, which is gap fill from Friday. So I haven't quite bought the dip yet, but I am looking for perhaps a turning point midday. We tend to see that play out quite well. Lastly here, let's go over to the gamma charts and just give you a different visual. Starting from the top, the gamma index is positive 680 million. Trading above the flip of 5605. This is our transition. All strikes above positive, which is supportive for the market price. Most strikes below negative, which is destabilizing for the market price. A break of that flip we would view as sort of a warning sign, but that gamma index is not going to turn materially negative until SPX breaks 5500. Really in this zone here, 5600 to 5500, it is much more neutral than imbalanced. You got some red bars, some green bars. Now, of course, this could change day to day. This is the gamma profile at this time. So make sure you're checking back tomorrow morning to see if that changes. If this comes, if this comes out being all red bars, that would most certainly be more bearish than it is at this moment. Now, as far as the upside goes, 5650, a lot of sell flows here. 5660, also a lot of sell flows. And then that call wall, technically 5750. In terms of catalyst this week, it's all about NVIDIA earnings, which is set to be released Wednesday after the market close. And this is highly anticipated. NVIDIA earnings has essentially become a market-moving event, and this may influence the broader AI growth narrative, and very well could be the catalyst for the next directional move. We've been basing... I think we just hit target. We've been basing for quite some time now between 5,600, 5,650. We're looking for some sort of reason, some directional conviction to spark either continuation to the upside, new all-time high 5,700, or perhaps opening the door back down to 5,500. So in terms of implied volatility, we got a 0.8% implied move today, slight uptick for NVIDIA earnings on Thursday at 1%, and then PCE on Friday at 0.9%. Now, we could very well see implied move tick higher as we head into those events, which is typically the case. So it may be something more like a 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 type move. So definitely something you want to check back on. But other than that, I guess geopolitics, making some headlines again. So you never know when a negative headline is going to hit the wire. So it's best to remain vigilant, keep that news feed up, and always, be adaptive and keep the risk managed. All right, guys, that's all I have for you. If you're not a member and you're interested in learning more, you can visit our website at 0DTEtraders.com. Best of luck out there today.